Recording.
Quickly put the day and date. So today is 30th. Thursday. Continuing with the accounting equation. So we'll be starting with question number 10. Page number 5.22 of this 24 edition. And those who are having 23 edition, and it might be same question or question number 9 or 11 something. Which question is it? 10. Commence business with cash 60,000. That question. Okay. So prove that the accounting equation is satisfied in all the following transactions of Suresh. Also prepare the balance sheet. So here, after preparing the format of the accounting equation, we have to prepare the balance sheet also. So first, we'll quickly chalk out what all columns we will need in our accounting equation format. Okay, so first is commence business with cash. So my cash will increase and the capital will increase, right? So we'll have these two columns. Then we have paid rent in advance. So for the second transaction, no new column will be required, because when we pay the rent in advance, okay, new column will be required in asset side, prepaid. So we paid the rent in advance, so the cash will decrease. Okay, and one new column of prepaid rent will be required. Prepaid rent is my new asset. Okay, so what is prepaid expense? The expense which is paid in advance before it has actually become due. So we have paid the rent in advance. So the cash will go down, and because it is prepaid, that means it relates to the next year. So we are not going to deduct it from the capital of this year. Okay, so this prepaid rent is the expense of the next year, which we have paid in this year, and therefore the cash will reduce and a new asset will be created in the name of prepaid rent, right? Third one is purchase goods for cash 30,000 and credit is 20,000. So again, third may we have got two transactions, bacho, A and B. So A ka effect would be a stock column would be created. Okay, stock will increase and cash will decrease because we have paid the cash for this purchases. Second, we have purchased the goods on credit also. So again, when we purchase on credit without paying cash, the stock will still increase and the cash will not go down because we have not paid the cash. We have purchased it on credit. So a new liability column in the form of creditors will be created. Okay, Kavya, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, next is sold goods for cash 30,000, costing 20,000. So we've got in the fourth transaction, this is what we call as cash sales. This is my cash sales. So for cash sales, obviously if I'm selling the stock will go down by cost price. We will have to decrease the stock by the cost price. The cash will increase on the asset side by the selling price and the profit of 10,000, because my selling price minus cost price is equals to profit. So here selling price is 30,000, cost price is 20,000. So the profit of 10,000 will be added to the capital. So capital will increase by 10,000. Any doubts till here? Okay. Then moving on to the fifth transaction. Fifth transaction says paid salary 500 and salary outstanding. So again, two transactions we have in fifth, A and B. So A transaction is salary paid 500. So this cash will decrease because we have paid the salary. And also my capital will decrease because it is a revenue expenditure, which we'll have to deduct from the capital only. And salary outstanding. So outstanding salary, so I cannot decrease cash because it has not actually been paid. So cash will not decrease, but capital will decrease because whether paid or not, this salary belongs to this year. It relates to this year. So it is an expenditure, of course. It will be deducted from the capital, and a new liability column in the form of outstanding expenses will be created. New liability column will be created, right? Then moving on to the last transaction, 6, bought motorcycle for personal use. So it is drawings. So capital will reduce because of these drawings. And also the cash will decrease because we have withdrawn cash and bought motorcycle. Now, motorcycle will not be shown on the asset side. Why? Because it is a personal asset. He's buying it on personal account, okay, for his personal use. So motorcycle, we won't show it as an asset on the, like machinery we show, land and building for business if we have purchased, we'll show. Motorbike, had we purchased it for business, we would show. But since this motorbike has been purchased for personal use, it is personal expense, it is drawings deducted from capital, deducted from cash. Clear? So how many columns will we need? We'll just chalk it out. So in asset side, we'll need 1 cash, second prepaid rent, third stock, and then that's it. So these 3 columns we'll need on the asset side: cash, stock, and prepaid rent. And then on the liabilities plus capital, of course, we have capital, and then we have got outstanding expense. So 2 columns on the liabilities plus capital side. So total in all, we'll need 5 columns. Creditors, okay, creditors is also there. So that also we'll have to make 1 column. Perfect. Okay, so now moving on to the format, quickly draw the format. I hope all of you are having scales. So here we have our format of the accounting equation. So first column would be my serial number. Second column would be transaction. Third column, and then I'll have like cash column. Okay. And then we have stock and prepaid expenses. So this is my serial number. This is the transaction column. This is cash. This is stock and the prepaid rent. And then here we have the column of creditors and the outstanding salary, and of course the capital. So maybe transaction column, you can squeeze a little bit, and your other columns should be more properly visible. Right? Arhan joined very late. Ashmit, Arhan, and Anushka. Very late joinees. We've already discussed question 10 fully. Now we are quickly going to do it. Anushka, please join in time. Arhan, always late. And Ashmit is also late today. Okay, moving on to first transaction. That is commence business with cash. So my cash will increase 60,000 and the capital will increase 60,000. After first transaction, we don't have to do anything. We are not going to draw any line. We're not going to calculate the new equation, directly come to the second transaction. So second transaction is paid rent in advance. Okay, so first is cash invested. Second is advance rent paid. So here we have 500 will be deducted from the cash. And in prepaid rent, we have a new asset column 500. And now we'll draw the line and write the new equation. So we have this line. And here we are going to write the new equation now. So the new equation is my assets become 59,500. I mean, cash becomes 59,500. 500 is the prepaid rent, and there is no impact on the capital. So both the sides you can see is equal. So we have our assets equals to the liabilities plus capital. Right? Okay, Ananya, we are doing question number 10. We have just discussed it and now we are putting it. Okay, quickly come to question number 10. Third transaction is purchase goods for cash, 30,000 and credit. So within this, we have got two transactions, A and B. Okay, purchased, or you can just write cash purchases and credit purchases. Okay, we can put it cash purchases and we have credit purchases. So if you are comfortable, you can club these two transactions. If not, you can do it, two separate entries. So 30,000 is my cash purchases and the credit purchases are 20,000. So for cash purchases, of course, my cash will go down. So minus 30,000 in the cash column and the asset column, stock will be 30,000. And for credit purchases, what will happen? My creditors will be created because I didn't pay cash. So my stock will still increase because I'm purchasing the stock, purchasing goods. So my stock has increased by 50,000 and my cash has decreased only by 30,000. Remaining 20,000, my creditors are created. And now the time to draw the new equation. So draw a line using your scales and then put the new equation. So the new equation, my cash has now gone down to 29,500 because I made a payment of 30,000 for the purchase of stock. My stock is now 50,000. I've purchased 50,000, 30,000 for cash and 20,000 for credit. Prepaid rent is still 500. Creditors, 20,000. Goods purchased on credit. And 60,000, the capital, no change. So on the right-hand side, we've got 80,000. Let's see how much we have got on the left-hand side. Again, 29,500, 30,000 plus 500, 30,000 and 50,000, 80,000. So on both the sides, we've got 80,000. So my accounting equation is matching, right? Any doubts? Anyone? So Parnika, are you following it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now moving on to the next transaction. Transaction number 4. So here we have sold goods for cash 30,000, costing 20,000. So sold, it is your cash sales. This is, we can just write cash sales. And maybe you can show the transaction over here. Selling price minus cost price will give you profit. Selling price is 30,000, cost price 20,000, and your profit is 10,000. So my cash will increase with selling price, bacho. So selling price, cash is added by 30,000. Cash is increased. My goods or my stock will go down by 20,000 because I've sold. So my stock is delivered to my customer. And the profit is added to my capital. Okay, so what is the impact of cash sales? With the selling price, my cash will increase. With the cost price, my stock will decrease. And with the profit, my capital will increase, right? So giving these three impacts, now the time to calculate the new equation. So we draw the line and put the new equation. So the new equation is my cash is now 59,500. Stock has decreased by 20,000, so it is 30,000. And there is no change in the prepaid rent, it is 500 still. So on the left-hand side, we've got 3 items. On the right-hand side, we've got the creditors. And the capital has now increased to 70,000. So on the right-hand side, my total is 90,000 creditors plus capital. And on the left-hand side, My cash 59,500 plus prepaid rent is 500. So 60,000 plus 30,000 stock. So it is 90,000 on both the sides. So I can put equal to sign over here. Right? Moving on to the next transaction. Transaction number 5. We have paid salary and salary outstanding being 100. So again, there are two transactions, A and B. A and B. First is salary paid. Salary paid is 500. So this is salary paid. So obviously decreased from the cash and decreased from the capital as well. Next is salary outstanding. So this outstanding salary means the salary which has become due, which relates to the current year, which we should have paid, but we have not paid. So because it is the expense of this year, we are going to deduct it from the capital. But because it has not been paid in cash, I cannot reduce cash. A new liability column, because outstanding salary is our current liability. It has to be paid within 1 year. So a new liability column in the name of outstanding salary I have prepared over here. Okay, so this is 100. So this will be, shown on the outstanding salary column. So outstanding salary column is over here. And it will also be deducted from the capital. And now they're trying to draw the new equation. Draw a line and put the new equation. So the new equation is my cash has gone down by 500, so it becomes 59,000. No impact on the stock, 30,000. No impact on the prepaid rent, same. On the right-hand side, my creditors are same, 20,000. My outstanding salary is now 100. And my capital has gone down because of this expense to 69,400. 69,400, right? So on the right-hand side, my total is 69,500 plus 20,000, 79,500, 89,500. And on the left-hand side also, it is 89,500. So I can put this equal to sign, right? Moving on to the last transaction. Arhan, any doubts still here? Arhan, any doubts? Are you able to do it? Okay, fine. And so last transaction, 6th one, is bought motorcycle for personal use. Bought motorbike for personal use. So whenever it is personal use, of course, it is drawings. So deducted from the capital because the payment has been made from the firm's bank account, the cash, 5,000. And the capital will reduce because it is drawings. Okay, so this is drawings basically. Right? And now the time for new equation. So draw a line quickly. And this final equation is important, Bachchan, because with the help of this equation, we are going to draw a balance sheet. So please write this carefully. The final equation, the new equation. So my cash is now going down to 54,000. And my stock is 30,000. Prepaid rent is 500. Creditors are 20,000. The outstanding salary is 100. And the capital has gone down to 64,400. So on the right-hand side, my total is 64,84,500. And on the left-hand side, this is also 84,500. Right? So I can put this equal to sign. Now, with the help of this final equation, we'll have to prepare the balance sheet. Right? With the help of the final equation, we are going to prepare our balance sheet. Can I change the sheet? Ananya? Are you done?
Yes, ma'am.
Can we?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, I'm done copying.
So now we are going to make the new balance sheet. I'm in the balance sheet, not the new balance sheet. So draw the format of the balance sheet. It is a statement having two sides. The left-hand side is the liability side and the right-hand side is the asset side. It is also called the T format of the the horizontal balance sheet. Okay, in class 12, we are going to do the vertical format of the balance sheet. So this is the balance sheet. Yeah. Okay. See, this accounting equation ka format, assets we have put on the left-hand side and liabilities and capital we are putting on the right-hand side. Okay. Just because in TS Grewal, they have followed this, this side. Otherwise, balance sheet ka format you cannot change. So liabilities you'll have to put on the left-hand side and the assets on the right-hand side. Accounting equation, it is up to you, however you want to put it. If you want to put it liabilities and capital on the left-hand side and right-hand side, you want to show assets, no problem. In fact, that is easier because that is how you can relate it with the balance sheet also. But then in TS Grewal, this is how they've been doing it. So we are following that format. So see, accounting equation format is not a formal format. Okay, it is something you're just solving that, thing. It is not a any official document. Okay, like when I say we prepare journal, we prepare ledger, we prepare trial balance, we prepare profit and loss account, trading account, balance. These are all the formal documents. The format has been prescribed by the law. Okay, but as far as your bank reconciliation statement, which is one of our chapter, and your accounting equation is concerned, these are no fixed formats. These are just for us to understand the thing. Okay, that how accounting is working and how every transaction is having a dual impact, and that is why we call it double entry system. Okay, so this balance sheet ka format has to be liabilities on the left hand side, assets on the right hand side. And when we are going for the vertical format, this is, as I told you, is known as the horizontal format. This is the horizontal format of the balance sheet. Now, in class 12, we are going to do the vertical format. So vertical format, where we'll put the liabilities first, and then below liabilities, we'll have all the assets. Okay, so that is how we make the vertical format, right? And this format is fixed. Like we have the Companies Act 2013. So in this Schedule 3 is there, which prescribes which format to be followed, what item will be mentioned first, within that item, what all items will be mentioned, heads, subheads, everything is fixed. Okay. Now, on the asset side, just keep on putting your assets. So we had the cash, we had the stock, and we had the prepaid rent. Okay, and on the liability side, we had the creditors and we had the outstanding salary and we had the capital. So these were the items. So my cash was, in the final, we had 54,000 cash. My stock in the end was 30,000. And the prepaid rent was 500. From the final equation, I'm just copying the figures. The creditors were 20,000. And the outstanding salary was 100. And the capital was 64,400. And the total was 84,500. And this side also it is 84,500. And we draw a double line. Okay. Below this 84,500, it is double line. So one line is the red line. So I had drawn the format with the red. Otherwise, you will be able to see this double line. So always in the end of the balance sheet, we put a double line. Okay. So with the help of the final equation, this equation, final equation, we prepare our balance sheet. So balance sheet is, you don't have to do anything, just have to copy the figures. Okay, done. Moving on to question number 11. Okay, question number 12, but you will have to rotate your register and do it because there are 10 transactions. So it won't be possible to do it in one vertical sheet. Maybe you can use a horizontal sheet. But question number 11 is small, so you can do that, manage that, no problem in that. Moving on to question number 11. Do I need to show the previous sheet, anyone? No? Okay. Question number 11, quickly we'll jot down what all columns will be required. So first is started business with cash. So the first transaction, my cash is going to increase, the capital is going to increase. Second transaction, rent received. So rent received, cash is going to increase because I'm receiving the rent. And capital will increase because rent being your income will be added to the capital. Accrued interest. Yes, what is accrued interest?
An asset.
It is an asset, but what is it?
Ma'am, the interest which is due but not yet received.
Okay, so we can say income which has been earned, interest which has been earned but has not been received. See, what happens, banks have the policy that they'll pay the interest at the year end. Okay, so just try to understand. If you can understand, even if you cannot understand at this stage, it's fine, because in the final accounts, we are going to do this point in detail. So say interest, I'm receiving the interest. I got the FD done on, say, 30th September. Okay, I got the FD done on 30th September 23. Now the banker is going to pay me the interest on 30th September 24. Right? He is going to pay me the interest 1 year from now. Or what is the date today? Let's take today's date. Today is 30th May. Right? This is opposite of Anand. 30th May. Today is 30th May 24. Now today I get the FD done of, say, 10 lakh rupees. And the rate of interest the banker is going to give me per annum is 10%. Okay, but you just try to understand. And he is going to give me the interest when, at the end of 1 year, 30th May 25. Okay. Now see, my financial year will end. This year is which year? This year will end on, this year is 24-25. Okay, the year of your class 11th is which year? 24-25. Started on 1st April 24 and end on 31st March 25. So how many months are gone? Suppose 30th May, say, my year is going to end on 31st March 24. So 30th May, say, please count 30th May 24. And this year of mine is going to complete on 31st March 25. Okay. So how many months are gone? May to chhodi do. May to ho gaya. Gone. So June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 10 months. 10 months have already passed. Okay. So 10 months have already passed. Now let's say 12% per annum hai. Usse calculation hamari thodi aasan ho jayegi. 12% per annum is the interest which the banker should have paid us. Now this 10 months have already passed. So 1% per annum के हिसाब से 10% मुझे interest मिल जाना चाहिए था. How much? 1 lakh rupees. On 10 lakh rupees, if 12% per annum he is paying for 1 year, I should have got this 10% till here, right? So 1 lakh I should have received. But is he going to pay me according to my year end? No. He is not going to pay the interest to me on my year end. He'll pay to interest to me only on 30th May 25. So on 30th May 25, he'll pay me total 1,20,000. Now, please try to understand this year, this date when he has paid me this interest lies in the year 25-26. He has paid me this interest in which year? 25-26, because he paid me the interest on 30th May 25. 30th May 25 will fall in the year 25-26 when you'll be in class 12. But I know that out of this total income of 1,20,000, 1 lakh pertains to which year? It relates to the year 24-25, and only 20,000, 2 months interest of April and May 25 belongs to the year 25-26. Total interest is paying me on 30th May. So I'm receiving this entire amount of 1,20,000 on 30th May. which lies in year 25, 26. But I know that out of this income should have been added to which year? This is my 24, 25 income. Whereas I'm receiving it in 25, 26. And this 20,000, no problem. It is the income of 25, 26 only. I'm receiving in 25, 26 only. But this 1 lakh, this 1 lakh, bachon, is called accrued interest, which relates to the current year. I should have received it. I have earned it because this FD was relating, this income was relating to time. As the time passes, I earn this income. I've made the FD of 10 lakh with the banker. Now 10 months have passed. I should have received 1 lakh rupees, 10,000 per month ke hisab se. But because of his policy, he'll pay me the interest only lump sum, 1,20,000. So this 1 lakh is what I call my accrued interest, the interest which I have earned already, but I have not received it. Now, not received it can be because of any other reason also. Not only like in the case of banker that I have not received the interest. Okay. So this is what you call as accrued interest. So accrued interest, when I draw my balance sheet of 31st March 25, I'll show this 1 lakh as my income, which has not been received by me. So this interest will of course be added to my capital because it is the income of this year. And a new asset column will be prepared in the name of accrued interest. This becomes my asset. Why is it an asset? Because I'm going to receive it, no? This is going to give me future economic benefit. Within 2 months, I'm going to receive this amount. So this is my current asset. So a new column in the name of accrued interest, you know, it is just like your accrued income. Okay, so accrued income, Navya, we call it the income earned, but not yet received. Okay, so generally we use the word due, Navya, for the expenses. Like outstanding expenses, we say the expenses which have become due, but we have not paid. When we talk about accrued income, you can also call it outstanding income, bacho. You can also call it outstanding income, loosely. Where they call it accrued income only. In generally, in case of income, it is called accrued income. But sometimes they may call it outstanding income also. The income which we should have received, but we have not received. The income which we have earned, but not yet received. So, basic distinction, Navya, you know, if we talk about the language, the income, when we talk about income, we say the income which has been earned, not yet received. But of course, when you say due, fine. Broadly, it is making the same sense.
Yes, ma'am.
So accrued interest, a new column in the asset side will be created and the capital will be increasing because this interest relates to this year. Then the next one is commission received in advance. Advance commission. Now, this is exactly opposite of this accrued income. Unearned income. You know, you've received the income in advance before it has become due. Okay. And, you know, it relates to the next year, but you have received it this year only. So because you have received it, your cash will definitely increase it. You know, cash part is very simple to understand. Just think that if you have received, increase the cash. If you have not received, so definitely cash is not going to increase. Okay. Now, because it is advance income, it is not going to be added to the capital for sure, because it is not the income of this year. Had it been the income of this year, I would have added to the capital. So a new column on the liability side will be created in the name of advance commission received. So on the liability side, I'm going to create a new column, advance commission. And this is what you call as unearned income.
So, ma'am,
So
the column can be labeled unearned income as well, rather than the advance commission received.
See, here we don't have any other item in the name of unearned income. And therefore, we can specifically name. When you have shortage of space, Navya, then we can, you know, under unearned income, we can have 2-3 columns. If they've given advance commission, advance rent, something like that. Then we can, you know, go in a broader way. We can say unearned income. But because yahan pe it's only 5 transactions and we'll have space, enough space. So we'll write it advance commission only.
Yes, ma'am.
Why not? Okay. See, this is more over here I've written so that you all get comfortable with the terms and you all are able to learn the terms. Otherwise, we'll call it advance commission only. Whatever the name of that item is, we'll call it that. When we pass the journal entries also, as we move further to the next chapters, coming chapters, You have to use specifically the name of the account which has been given in the question. So we'll name the account accordingly only. Okay, we won't change mostly the names of the accounts. So unearned income or advance commission, a new asset column, a new liability column will be created because this is my current liability. Whenever I receive advance payments, advance incomes, then it becomes my liability to provide the service or give the product, or like we have already received the commission in advance. So this is a current liability and cash will increase. Next one is very simple, amount withdrawn. So it is of course drawings. So you know the treatment of the drawings, the cash will decrease and your capital will decrease. No new column. Okay. Now let's see how many columns we'll need. 1 of cash, and on the asset side, 2 of accrued interest, and no stock is there. Okay, fine. No stock is there. And then 3rd of capital, 4th of his advance commission. That's it. 4 columns only we'll need. It's a simple question. Only 4 columns. Yeah. Can I change the sheet? So now quickly draw the format of the accounting equation. We have the serial number, the transaction, cash. We won't draw the lines like this. We'll just name column headings because that gives a neater presentation. If you feel like, you can draw the lines also. Transaction. And then here we have the columns as cash. And we have the accrued interest. And on the, so this is my asset. On the liability and capital side, I've got advance commission. Advance commission. And I've got the capital. So this is L plus C. No creditors, nothing. Serial number 1. Started business with cash. So now the cash is going to increase by 60,000 and the capital 60,000. So it is equal. Don't have to do anything after the first transaction. Next is rent received. So it is 2,000 added to the cash, 2,000 income added to the capital, and the new equation. New equation, 62,000 is the cash and 62,000 is the capital. You put the equal to sign. Per transaction, accrued interest. Accrued interest is 500. So 500 is the income of this year. I've added to the capital. A new column on the set side created. And the time for the new equation. So my new equation, the cash is 62,000. Accrued interest is the income earned but not received. So my cash has not increased. But of course, it is the income of this year earned already. So my capital will increase 60,500 on both the sides. 4th equation, advance commission received. Advance commission received is 1,000. So because it has been received, my cash will increase and a liability column will be created. 1,000 because it is advance commission. It relates to the next year, though I have received this year. Doesn't make it this year's income. New equation. So my cash will now become 63,000. There is no change in the advance accrued interest. Advance commission, a new liability created. No impact on the capital, 62,500. So on both the sides, we've got 63,500. I can put an equal to sign. 63,500 on both the sides. Moving on to the last transaction, amount withdrawn. So amount withdrawn is nothing but drawings. So decrease from the cash, decrease from the capital. The drawings will reduce the capital. And the final new equation. So my cash has now become 58,000. 500 is the accrued interest. 1,000 is the advance commission. And the capital has gone down to 57,500. So on both the sides, we've got 58,500 and 58,500. I'll put an equal to sign. You don't have to draw the balance sheet over here. Fine. Balance sheet banana hai? Oh, okay, quickly prepare the balance sheet. With the final column, by the final equation, you have to draw the balance sheet. So this is the equation which we are going to draw, which we are going to use to draw the balance sheet. So on the asset side, we'll have cash and accrued interest. On liability side, we'll have advance, commission, and capital. It'll be a simple balance sheet. Quickly draw it. It'll take 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, 1 minute. Draw the format and show it to me. It is done. Balance sheet also drawn. Oh, very good. ऊपर balance sheet लिख दो. Is the balance sheet done, बच्चों? Muneen, balance sheet is done. Atri,
Yes, ma'am.
balance sheet done.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ashmit, balance sheet बना ली. Navishi?
Done.
Done? Okay. So now moving on to question number 12. This is important. Question number 12. Now come to question number 12 quickly. Raghunath, those who are having the old books, please check this question. You'll find it. Okay. So this is Raghunath had the following transactions in an accounting year. Commence business with cash. So first way, cash will increase and the capital will increase. Second transaction, paid into bank. So some cash we withdrew and paid into bank. So what will happen? The cash will decrease and the bank balance will increase. Okay, simple transaction. Bank balance is an asset, yes. Cash, current assets, don't you remember the examples of current assets? Cash balance, bank balance, cash in hand, bank, cash in bank, your debtors, your bills receivable, the stock, prepaid expenses, and accrued income. All these are my assets. That is why I want you to be very thorough with the examples of the current assets. Okay, and the examples of the fixed assets. Okay, that is your non-current assets. And then the examples of the current liabilities. If you have learned those basic terms, bacho, then it'll be very easy to do the accounting equation. So when I withdraw the, the cash which is lying in my office. Okay, I take that cash. I don't want to keep that much amount of hard cash at my office. I take it and put it into my bank account. So that ways my cash will decrease, my bank balance will increase. right? So that is the transaction second number. Okay, third wala transaction is purchase goods for cash 20,000, credit 30,000. So again, we have got A and B in this transaction. When we are talking about cash purchases, one is cash purchases and one is your credit purchases. So because of the cash purchases, what happened? Your cash will go down and your stock will increase. And because of credit purchases, your stock, of course, will increase. But your cash will not go down because you're not paying cash. But your creditors will be there. Creditors, your liability will increase. Right? Fourth transaction, rent paid. No, fourth transaction is sold goods for cash. So it is cash sales. So what happened? Your cash will increase with the selling price. Your stock will decrease with the cost price. And the profit will be added to the capital. Okay, so capital will increase by the profit figure. So 30,000 ka cost ka bhi sold for 40,000. So 10,000 is our profit, right? This is the impact of the cash sales. When you make sales, your stock decreases. You give away the goods to the customer, right? And your cash will increase because your customer is going to give you cash. Rent paid. So your cash is going to decrease because you paid the rent, and because it is revenue expenditure, the capital will decrease. Now, the sixth transaction is outstanding rent. So cash is not going to decrease because you've not paid. It is outstanding. You've not paid. You should have paid, but you didn't pay. So because it is revenue expenditure, capital is going to decrease, and a new liability column. Outstanding rent will be created because outstanding rent is a current liability. The expenditure which you should have paid, but you have not paid. So outstanding rent, a new liability column will be created. Then seventh transaction, bought furniture on credit. So you're getting an asset. So furniture will increase. A new asset column will be created. And creditors for furniture, a new liability will be created. So creditors for furniture. Now see, Bacho, you have two things. Somebody asked me earlier also, what is the difference between creditors and creditors for furniture? Now, see, when we talk about these creditors, we're talking about goods. The main line of trade, the main item of trade in which we are dealing. Suppose I have a stationery shop. So if I purchase stationery, stationery is my goods. If I'm having an electronics store, so the electronic goods would be my goods, would be my main item of trade, right? And so whenever I'm talking about purchase goods on credit, then we call those creditors. But if I purchase furniture or maybe car or maybe land and building or maybe some machinery on credit, those will be creditors for fixed assets. So creditors for goods and creditors for fixed assets are different. Creditors in general, when nothing is mentioned, only creditors. That means these are the creditors for goods. If it is creditors for purchasing, say, computer on credit or furniture on credit or car on credit, it'll be creditor for that particular fixed asset. Okay. Now, so here we'll have a new liability column. Now, transaction number 8. Transaction 8 is bought refrigerator for personal use. So it is drawings. So I'm not going to see whatever he does with his drawings. I'm least bothered. Whether he is buying a mobile for himself, he is buying a motorbike for himself, buying a refrigerator or a sofa for his residence, for his personal use. We are not bothered with that particular asset he is purchasing. From business, he is withdrawing money. That is our concern. When he is investing capital, from what source is he bringing that capital is of no relevance to us. Plus, when he is withdrawing the amount, what is he doing with that withdrawal? Paying his child's fee, okay, sponsoring his trip, whatever it is, we are not bothered. For us, it is drawings. Whether he is buying furniture, motorbike, refrigerator, whatever, I'm not going to put that asset name. The thing will be cash will decrease and capital will decrease with the drawings. Fine. Now, last transaction, ninth one. He's purchased motorcycle for cash. Now, this is not for personal use. It's not written that he is using it for personal use. So you might have, because in the earlier question, it was in question number 10, it was bought motorcycle for personal use. It was written. Here is it written? No. So this is not drawings. So what will be the impact of this transaction? A new asset column will be created in the name of motorcycle. Okay. New asset will increase and the cash will decrease. Okay. So please be careful that this buy motorcycle is not his personal asset. It is the asset of the business. Only the business asset I'm going to show in my accounting equation. Any personal asset, no, I'm not going to show that. Whatever he's doing with the drawings, whatever he's buying, I'm not bothered, right? So these are the transactions, these are the columns. Now let's count how many columns we'll need. One cash car, two capital car, one cash car, then two bank balance. Then three we'll need for stock on the asset side. And we'll need 4 for furniture. And we'll need 5 for motorbike. So 5 on the asset side, I'll need 5 columns. Then on the liability and capital side, 6 is capital and your creditors and your outstanding rent and your creditors for furniture. 9 columns. We'll need 9 columns. Okay. And you have got 9 transactions, bacho. So please take a horizontal double sheet. Okay. You have to take horizontal double sheet so that you'll be able to put it nicely. And remember the columns. So cash, bank, stock, furniture, motorcycle on the asset side. So let's draw the format quickly. Turn your registers horizontally and then do it, बच्चों. मेरा भी एक पेज पे नहीं हो पाएगा. So we are doing question number 12. And again, you have so many columns. So make the transaction column very small. So serial number and transaction column, we are going to draw very small. So here I have got the small serial number column and a small column for transaction. And then I've got the, see, maybe in this you can draw lines or be very neat. So we have cash.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Hmm?
Ma'am, in this question, as there are 9 transactions, can we write a new equation after each 3 transactions?
You want to do it like that? Okay, maybe. If you're comfortable, if you sure
Even
that
in
you're
our
going to,
school,
huh?
even our school, our teacher had recommended to do after a few transactions.
See, the length of the question is big, then maybe you can do it. Okay, no problem. But be careful. You don't make a mistake because see, making the new equation after each transaction, you're at least sure that, okay, both the sides are matching. Okay, so if you're comfortable, you're confident that you're not making any mistakes and you don't have to check it after every transaction that your left hand side and your right hand side is matching. Like sometimes you for example, drawings. So definitely deducted from cash, deducted from capital. 500 drawings that obviously the other items are same. So in that case, Rehan, yes, you can do that. But here what I'm going to do is I'm going to put new equation after almost all the transactions, right? So we have cash. Then we had bank balance, bank. Okay, and then we had stock. And we have furniture. And motorcycle. Motorcycle. Okay, and on the liability side, I've got the creditors. So these creditors are, of course, my creditors for goods. Then I have got outstanding rent. And then I've got creditors for furniture. Furniture creditor. Creditor for furniture. Not very clear. I hope you've all heard it. And capital. That's it. Yeah, 9 columns we're having. This is serial number, transaction. So come to serial number 1. First transaction is commence business with cash. So my cash will increase with 50,000 and my capital will increase with 50,000. So my both the sides. So I can put over here my assets is equal to my liabilities plus capital. The creditor for furniture I'll put 2. Liabilities plus capital. So here I have got my furniture creditor. Then the second transaction. Second transaction is your paid into bank. Paid into bank. So my cash will go down by 10,000 and my bank balance will increase by 10,000. No change otherwise. So after, okay, second transaction ki baad mein I am skipping the new transaction, new equation. Okay, because your cash will go down by 40,000, cash will become 40,000, bank will become 10,000. So here I'm skipping because otherwise it won't be sufficient for me. आप लोगों ने तो double sheet लिया है. So if you want to write new equation, you can write it. Otherwise, after second transaction, I'm skipping the new transaction. Then third one, purchase goods for cash and credit. So I'll write credit first the cash purchases. First I'll write the cash purchases, बच्चों. Purchase cash purchases. So this is 20,000. So 20,000, my cash has gone down and my stock has increased. And then my credit purchases. So my stock is again increasing by 30,000. And my creditors are increasing by 30,000. So in this column only, you have to write 30,000. जहाँ पे आपने credit purchase है. Now I'm drawing my new equation. So after the third transaction, I'm drawing the new equation. New
Ma'am,
equation. Yes.
Ma'am, can you combine the fifth and sixth equation? It's just rent paid and
Navya,
rent.
can you please speak a bit louder?
Ma'am, can we combine the fifth and the sixth equation? Rent paid and rent.
Third transaction, yes, you can combine. I told you earlier also that you can do directly 50,000 and then 20 and 20,000.
No, ma'am, the fifth and the sixth part of the same question.
Rent paid and rent outstanding.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, you can club them. Yes, you can club them. See, accounting equation, again, I'm telling you, it's not a formal document. So you can change the format. You can put the liability and capital on the left-hand side, assets on the right-hand side. You can do these changes, no problem. So this new equation, my cash is now 20,000. And my bank balance is 10,000. And my stock is now 50,000. And my creditors for stock or goods is 30,000. My capital is 50,000. So here I've got 80,000 both the sides. Right? 80,000 both the sides. And go on to the next transaction, which is transaction number 4. Sold goods for cash. So it is my cash sales. So 40,000 is the selling price, 30,000 is the cost price, so 10,000 is the profit, right? So profit will be added to the capital. Add profit to the capital of 10,000. And the stock will go down by the cost price, that is 30,000 in the stock column. And 40,000, my cash is going to increase 40,000. Now I'm drawing the new equation. अगर किसी transaction में you have impacts on 2, 3 items, then it's better to draw the new equation there. Otherwise, you can club it. So my cash has increased to 60,000 because of these cash sales. Bank balance is still 10,000. Stock has gone down by 30,000, so it is 20,000 now. And creditors remain the same. And the capital has increased to 60,000. So on the right hand side, I've got 90,000. The left hand side, I've got 90,000. Yes. So this is my new equation. Moving on to the next transaction, fifth one, rent paid. So fifth and sixth, we are going to write one after the other. And then after sixth, we are going to make the new equation. So rent paid, my cash will go down by 500. And my capital will go down by 500. And then rent outstanding. Rent outstanding means the rent which has become due. I should have paid. It is the expense of this year, but I've not paid it. It's still outstanding. So 100 will be deducted from the capital because it is the expense of this year only. And a new liability column, outstanding rent, will create of 100. And now we are going to draw the new equation. So after fifth and sixth transaction taken together, my cash balance has gone down to 59,500 because I paid 500 for rent. Bank balance, no impact. Stock is same, 20,000. On the right hand side, we have 30,000 as the creditors. 10,000 a new asset column, outstanding rent has been created. And the capital has gone down by 600 for the rent paid and outstanding rent. So it becomes 59,400. 59,400. So on the right hand side, we've got 59,500 and 89,500. And on the left hand side also, we've got 89,500. So I'll put an equal to column. Okay, equal to column should, appear below your equal to column only, not below your. So here it is equal to column. Then your equal to column. Okay. Seventh transaction is your what furniture on credit. Okay, so furniture on credit. So no cash payment is there. So of course my furniture, new asset column, 5,000. And my creditor for furniture, 5,000. Right? So maybe we can skip the new equation over here also. My furniture has increased by 5,000 and my creditor for furniture have increased by 5,000. Now I'm skipping the new equation over here. I'm directly going to the 8th transaction. What refrigerator for personal use? So we'll write refrigerator for personal use. So it is drawing. So this refrigerator won't be shown in my books. So 5,000 will be deducted from the cash and 5,000 will be deducted from the capital for this drawings. So under 8, you can of course put it as drawings. In the bracket, you can write Bachon drawings. Now the time for the new equation. So here, for the 8th transaction, I'm drawing my new equation. So my cash has gone down to 54,500 after the payment of 5,000 for the drawings. Bank balance is still 10,000. Stock is still 20,000. And furniture, which I had purchased for the business purpose, 5,000. Creditors are still 30,000. Outstanding rent is 100. My creditor for furniture is 5,000. And my capital after this withdrawal, personal use के लिए refrigerator has gone down to 54,500.
Ma'am, will it be
Sorry, it is
54,400?
400.
Yes, yes. $54,400. So on both the sides, what is our total? 30, 54, 64, 74, 84, 84, and 89,500. 89,500 on both the sides. Right? So we can put an equal to sign. Be careful. I hope everybody is doing it nicely. I'll be asking some of you to send me this question. I'd like to see how you put it, how neatly. Yes, Arhan, I hope you've done it neatly. Would you be able to share the solution with me? Okay, now last transaction, purchase motorcycle for cash. Okay, so purchased motorcycle for cash. So this, my cash will go down. So those who have done it can go on to prepare the balance sheet. Done balance sheet also. Balance sheet bana lo jinka ho gaya. Motorcycle for cash. So my cash will go down by 20,000. There is no impact on the bank. And my motorcycle new asset will be created in the name of motorcycle with the amount of 20,000. And no impact on the capital, nothing. And now the time for the new equation. So draw the line and the new equation. And with the final new equation, I'm going to draw the balance sheet. So the new equation, my cash has gone down by 20,000. So it makes it 34,500. No change in the bank balance, 10,000 still. No change in the stock, 20,000. No change in the furniture, 5,000. No change on the motorcycle has new asset has been created, 20,000. On the right hand side, we have creditors for goods, 30,000. We have outstanding rent, 100. We've got creditor for furniture, 5,000. And we have the capital of 54,400. So on both the sides, we've got 89,500, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
So we've got 89,500, so I can put an equal to sign. And with the help of the last accounting equation, please draw the balance sheet, everyone. On the asset side, you'll have cash, bank, stock, furniture, motorcycle. Right hand side pay. On left hand side pay, you'll have creditors, outstanding rent, creditor for furniture and capital. Draw the balance sheet, please. We have the balance sheet. Balance sheet as at. And here we have the liabilities and the assets. Amount in rupees, amount in rupees. So on the asset side, we have the cash in hand. the bank balance. We call this cash in hand. Okay. And the bank balance. Then we have this stock. And we have the furniture. And we have the motorcycle. Okay, so cash in hand is 34,500. Bank balance is 10,000. Stock is 20,000. Furniture is 5,000. And the motorbike is 20,000. On the liability side, we have got the creditors. These are the creditors for goods, of course, for the stock. And we have the outstanding rent. And we have the creditors for furniture. And we have the capital. Capital is 54,400. Creditors for furniture is 5,000. And we have the outstanding rent as 100. And the creditors for goods as 30,000. So both the sides we've got 89,500 and 89,500 and a double. Right? Okay. Now I'm just quickly discussing in 2 minutes the question number 13 so that we'll put that for homework. Okay, so question number 13 is the homework. We'll quickly discuss it. So first is, of course, you started business with cash and goods. Okay, so here your cash will increase and your stock will increase. Okay, and your capital will increase by 80,000. Because see, business can be started by investing money as well as assets. It may be that I can, give furniture, my personal furniture to the business. So that also will be investment. So your cash, for the first equation, you can quickly, if you want hints, you can write down. Otherwise, you can just see. Okay, your stock will increase by 30,000, cash will increase and the capital by 80,000. The second transaction, purchase goods for cash on credit from Karan. So my stock will increase in total 50,000 bacho. And cash will decrease with the 30,000, my cash purchases. And the creditors, Karan will become my creditor. So in the bracket, I can put Karan or I can just put creditor 20,000. A new liability column will be created. Third transaction, goods costing 40,000 was sold for 55,000. So cash will increase by 55,000. Stock will decrease with the cost price 40,000. And capital will increase with the profit of how much? Of 15,000. Then fourth transaction, withdrew cash for personal use. So cash will decrease with 10,000. And because it is drawing, so capital will decrease with 10,000. So the fourth transaction is your drawings. And then fifth, rent outstanding. So capital will decrease with the rent outstanding, 2,000 is the expense of this year, and a new liability column, outstanding rent, will be created for 2,000. So how many columns you will have to make? Just make a count. Cash, stock, and then on the liability side, we have capital, creditor, and outstanding rent. 5 columns will be required in question number 13. Okay. Question number 14 also, there's only one point we can discuss and you can put it for homework. First one transaction, second you will be able to do third. Come to the third transaction, bacho, see. Sold goods, so it is cash sales and credit sales. Now we have to see the amount. 10,000 at a profit of 20%. Okay, just leave this question. We'll have to do in the next class. We are going to do a very important concept, and that is percentage of profit on cost and percentage of profit on sales. A very important topic I'm going to discuss in the next class. This is not only important for this chapter, Okay, but for your last chapter and throughout 12, we'll be using this concept. So this concept is very important, which I'll be discussing in the next class. Okay, so we'll wind up the class over here, right? Any doubts in today's class questions? No? Okay, then. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.